Azana is a songwriter and vocalist. Her debut album, Ingoma, topped the charts for months in South Africa, Eswatini and Botswana. The singer released Your Love in June 2020 and it has over 1 million views on YouTube. Last week, she released the single and music video for Shona Malanga, Days Go By, which marks the start of her singles, which will build up to the release of her album Igagu later on in the year. And this morning, she joins us in studio to tell us a bit more on what can be expected from the offering. Azana, very good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Good to see you. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Jeez, man. And when you released your album, your debut album, Ingoma, did you anticipate that it would reach, the success that it has?
Because I was very new in the industry, I hadn't released music yet. I didn't know what to expect. So I was coming in as a new person, and I was like, I can sing, I can write, just listen to my music. And people really reciprocated it, and they really loved it. So it came as a surprise. But one thing that I always say is that I knew that I was supposed to sing, and I knew that I would make it work. And I was so privileged to have people around me to make it possible for me.
So, Azana, what was the point when you realized that not only can you sing, but you're onto something, that will catapult you into something even greater?
As I said, I knew at a very young age. I remember when I was 6, I used to cry looking at the TV, and I was like, I told my mother, I was like, I want to sing, I'm going to sing. So I always knew. I think I realized that it was something that was going to be a part of my life for the rest of my life. When I heard, when I was with Disciples of House, when I came to Johannesburg, and I heard my voice coming out of the speaker for the first time, and it sounded so clean. And I was like, I think I found people, that I can make professional music with. And that's the moment of realization. And I was like, this is something that I really want to do because it's beautiful. Yeah.
And then Igagu, how is it any different from the first offering?
So my second album that's coming out in October, the 27th of October, people have been wanting it for the longest time because they enjoyed the Ingoma so much. It's a continuation of my first one. My first album talks about me wanting to go to Johannesburg to go find a job in music. And in this album, Igagu, I'm talking about how I've gotten to Johannesburg, and now these are the type of problems that I'm going through here in Johannesburg. Okay. And then when I released Ingoma, I was so in love. And I was talking about Uthando Lwangempela and Your Love. And then the older Azana, you hear her talking about how disappointed she is in love. That's where we get the songs such as Zono in my album, Igagu. We talk about Uthando Lukamama, which is something that I always wanted to talk about in a song, where I express how unconditional the love my mother has for me. Sure. I tap into not losing faith in your dreams. So it's topics that I feel like people will relate to, just like my first album, Ingoma. The sound is similar, but we made sure that we make it different a bit in a way where people hear songs such as Dalabantu and they're like, we see that you worked with different people for this one. It's still an African vibe. It's still very pop. But we're trying different elements, not trying to be predictable with the album. But it's definitely soul. It's soul. One thing that the music that we make, it's soul. So it's something that I think when people hear, they'll be like, yeah, this is definitely coming from Azana, but it has a twist to it.
So my understanding is that your music is a reflection of your life story.
It definitely is. Because I'm a songwriter, I enjoy expressing myself through my truth, to write my truth in my music. So whatever comes naturally to me, whatever I feel and think and whatever I've been through, it's easier for me to write about that rather than pretending like I went through something when I didn't. Unless if you talk to me and you tell me, oh, Azana, this is what I went through, and I feel it, and I put myself in your shoes, then I can write a song about it. So in most cases, that's what happens. But what I write about is probably what I've been through.
Now you're onto something, because I've heard of fake rags to riches story, just just for likes, just
Yeah.
for clicks,
Yeah.
just for, you know,
Yeah.
sympathy. But you are fairly new in the music industry, but
Yes.
already you've worked with big names such as Prince KB and Sanel Musician. Just take us through those collaborations and what it taught about your own craft.
I've gotten the privilege to work with such great artists, people who are very good at what they do. As you mentioned, Sanel Musician, one of the first people who are big in the industry to see something great in me and be like, I believe in her. She has a beautiful voice and she can write as well. I've also gotten to work with Utem Tuda. We released a song called Umam Kobozi on his EP. I've gotten to work with many other artists that I haven't released music with even yet, but they're still coming. And one thing that I've learned is that we all just want to make beautiful music and everyone has their own story.
Yes.
So when you hear the music, it's coming from a deep place in all those artists and they take their jobs very seriously and that's why they're that good. And to be a part of that is something that is a blessing to me, especially being exposed to it at a very young age. I think it shaped me to the artist that I am today because I've learned a lot from them.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah.
And in one of the songs, you paid tribute to your mom and the love that she has for you. And another single is Bafazi, right? Mm-hmm. And I suppose it's quite befitting that it's in the Women's Month.
Yeah.
So tell us more about it and what really inspired that.
I think I've always enjoyed talking about women. I think because I looked up to Beyonce growing up, I've realized how much she celebrated women and how much she empowered them. And I also wanted to do that through my music. It's something that I enjoy. I also enjoy working with women. Okay. I love being in touch with my feminine side and just sharing a space with women because they uplift me and I uplift them. So it's a sisterhood that I'm grateful to have. So that's why I express it through my music.
All right. Azana, lovely chatting to you, hey?
Lovely chatting to you too. Thank you.
Well, the feminine force of Azana begins the build-up to her sophomore album, Igagu, this Women's Month. We just spoke to her on the new offering